Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your August 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin the reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Pisces, August 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Pisces, August 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Pisces, August 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels. Pisces, August 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So at our root, we have the Wheel of Fortune, Judgment, and the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. Then we have in our inner self, the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. If you're born on the cusp with Aries, or you have fire sign energy within your chart, this is going to come out quite profoundly, and you might find it a bit frazzling, like a little bit upsetting during this time, because you want those smooth waters so deeply. Then we have the Two of Swords, the King of Swords, which is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If you're born on the cusp with Aquarius, or you have air sign energy within your chart, that is going to be coming out quite profoundly, and it's going to be ruffling your waters just a bit, so do be mindful. And then you have the Two of Pentacles, which is showing the waters being ruffled and needing to find balance, serenity, peace. In our hearts, we start off with the Seven of Pentacles, patience. The Three of Cups. The Three of Cups for me is always the sense of somebody who has celebrated us but didn't really mean it. But there's also a sense of being able to connect with those people who truly celebrate us, truly love us. The Six of Pentacles, we need balance. This is going to be a time where we need balance, and we need to see people and things for who they truly are and what they truly are, and also not be giving so much of our time and our energy to those people who deceive us, but to those people who build us up and move forward with us and love us. It's going to be really important, and it's going to be a little tricky during this time. We have the Sun, the happiest card in the whole entire deck, and the Knight of Pentacles, earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Now let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Pisces needs to be mindful of? August 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. We have the King of Cups, which is ourselves. We're represented by the cups in the minor arcana. We're represented by the moon in the major arcana. This is going to be a time where we need to look at our own power and really embrace our power, because this can be a time where we become that statement, the bite is worse than the bark, or the bark is worse than the bite. We can go to both extremes during this time. And we're also going to be really drawn to people who embody these extremes, who have this like passionate outburst of emotion, good, bad, or indifferent. We're going to find that we're drawn to it, and we want that passion, we want that authority, we want that determination, we want that fire. But it's not going to be fire. It's going to all be fueled by emotion. So this is also going to be a very draining place to be. And people can cope with this through a little bit of destructive means. So do be mindful of that. Now let's look at our chakra energy. Pisces, August 1st to the 15th, 2021, Pisces. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading. And we have rebirth. This is the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below our feet. This is a time where we are reborn, where we are emboldened. This is a time where we start to connect with the energy of the earth that charges us, but also see ourselves becoming different as we embrace and as we are emboldened by this energy. The Wheel of Fortune shows us, just as the butterfly does, that there is a transformation going on. There's a new season that we are entering into. And as we embrace the season, we embrace a new aspect of ourselves. Now, sometimes we're not ready for this. And other times we find the pathway to almost be this hypnotic way forward, this tunnel forward. It's kind of like following the rabbit down the rabbit hole. It's like, where will this take me? And there's going to be apprehension around it because it is the unknown. And Pisces, for us, we fear the unknown. We also fear the known. We fear. And if Pisces can overcome fear, then Pisces can almost rule the world. This is going to be a time where we need to look at that fear openly and honestly and respectfully and see it as it is. And the changing of the seasons, the changing of the time within our lives, the changing of ourselves. Now, it could be the changing of the maiden, mother, crone aspect, the youth, the adult, and the wisdom. It can be the changing of a phase within our lives. It can be, when we change from being in love with our job to it falling into routine, or being in love with our partner to it kind of falling into routine at times and us needing to rekindle that. We're going to need to look at these things with openness and honesty and not try to make something into what it is not, and let the new season come in and let ourselves fall in love with it a bit, even if it is a season of winter. After having a beautiful fall and all the foliage changes color, this is going to be a time where we need to look at the change that is a part of us. There's a beauty in the starkness of winter. There's a beauty in the frigid cold of winter. Let us embrace the different seasons of our lives, the different seasons of ourselves. It brings us to judgment. Now, this is going to be a time with judgment where we have this resurrection of self, but we have the depiction of Anubis. And Anubis is the death god in ancient Egyptian mythology. And he weighs the heart against a feather. And if the heart was lighter than the feather, then the person who passed was allowed to go into paradise. And this is going to be a time for us where we need to look at our hearts and say, is my heart lighter than a feather? Is my heart moving forward with an exuberance of spirit, with an embracing of love, with a passion and power of myself? And if not, why? What is it that's draining my heart? What is it that's draining me? What is it that is so overwhelming? And how can I release it? How can I move to a place and to a pathway within my life where my heart has that beauty again to it, has that lightness to it, has that joy to it? And it might be that we're going through a season that is rather heavy to bear, that is rather overwhelming. And we have to be aware of that. We also have to be aware of our hearts and of our desires and of what we want. And the chariot rises us up like never before. And the chariot is going to lead us forward and saying the heart can be the guide. The heart can be powerful. Because so often with us, Pisces, we tend to doubt the heart. We tend to doubt our superpower. Because everybody else's superpower is about strength and about force and about, what we feel almost as tangible things, even with air sign energy. But this is going to be a time where the emotions, where the subtlety, where the sacredness comes into play. And if we embrace our hearts with this open kindness, if we embrace our power with this ferocity of kings that are compassionate, then all of a sudden we change the course of our worlds and ourselves. And we become this beacon that people turn to and look at and take note of. And it brings us to the Two of Pentacles. There's going to be trickery around us. Now, it can be that our mind is playing tricks on us as we're taking in the information. We're going to process things and make it more our fault than it is. But it can also be that we're going to be looking at the negative instead of the positive. There can also be people who have their own motives, and there always are. What we're going to see is that emotions run high. And we need to calm those emotions. We need to find the way to center ourselves through meditation, through going on walks, through being out in the sun. And as we start to balance ourselves, we can start to balance everything that we want to do. But if we cannot balance ourselves, if we cannot have our feet firmly planted on the ground and make the earth take note that we stood here, not in a destructive way, but in a way that our presence has weight and gravitas. And we stand on the earth with meaning and purpose. And we start to balance. We start to balance everything that is desired and everything that is needed. We start to balance dreams and reality. We start to balance wants and needs. We start to balance work and home. We start to balance what we want and what everybody wants from us. And it leads us to the place where the King of Swords comes forward. And the King of Swords is the warrior king. He's not messing around. And he doesn't take things lightly. There's not a joking air around the King of Swords. The King of Swords has a job to do. The King of Swords has a way that he wants to see life move forward. And this is going to be a time where we start to embrace that. We start to embrace a fierceness of personality. We're also going to be a bit afraid of it. We're going to be a bit afraid of speaking our mind and embracing our voice. We're going to be a bit afraid of coming off as pushy or overbearing or overpowering. But we have to use our thoughts and our memories. We have to use the present and the future to guide us forward, to say, where is it that I want to be? What is it that I'm fighting for? Where is it that I stand right now? All the time we use the past and the present as guiding posts, right? But we stand firmly in the now. We use the past and the future as guiding posts, and we stand firmly in the now. We own what we desire. We own what we want. There's a tenacity and an intensity to us, and we cut through doubts and fears and negativity and hurt and despair and despondencies. And we say, there is more here than meets the eye. And there will always be more here than meets the eye. This is what I put in the time and the effort for. This is what I sacrificed for. This is what I earned. And there's a majesty to self here with the King of Swords, with the Chariot, with the Queen of Wands that cannot be ignored. It's heightened by the sun coming into play. And it moves us then to the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords are ideas, thinking it has to be this way or that way, it has to be like this or like that. And we're going to start to see new pathways start to open. We're going to start to see that if we look within, the ideas come. The ways forward become more relevant and more real. And we can see a different road. But we're always going to think it's this or that. I fight with my left hand or I fight with my right hand. But it's always going to be a battle. It's always going to be a fight. It's always going to be. We have to fight, yes, for what we want in life, for where we want to stand. But it's also fighting through our own fears and our own doubts and our own insecurities. Now we're cutting through. It's kind of like using the swords as a giant scissor and saying there's more here. There's more here than you ever could have realized. And it brings us to the Queen of Wands. It brings us to a new dawn, to the coming together of sacred masculine and sacred feminine energy. It brings us to a place of power and strength and determination and ferocity. It brings us to a place of sacred mysteries. And it brings us to a place of not needing to be center stage and yet still being profoundly important. And it doesn't mean that what Spirit is saying is that you do not need to be a superstar. Everybody does not need to know your name. If just 2 people in this world, or 1 person in this world, says your name with love, says your name with joy, then that is enough. Let the dawn come forward. Let the light shine in. Do not be afraid to roll up your sleeves and follow your passions. It takes hard work and tenacity. You have enough to spare. Let it come forward. Let the expression and passion of the heart shine. It's hard work, but we have to have patience with this hard work. This is the time where you let the varnish set, where you let things dry. Because if you start working on it when everything's still tacky, everything will mess up. When I was little, I loved painting my nails. I always thought that beautiful, especially red painted nails were very old Hollywood, absolutely glamorous, and I loved it. I had absolutely no patience. And so I would always put on the nail polish when everything was still wet. I would always pick at it. It would be a mess. That's what it is here. You might love to do something, but you're not going to have the patience. This is a time where you have to say, you know what? I'm not picking the nail polish. I'm letting it dry properly. I'm letting it set. So that it can be beautiful, that it can be lasting, that it can be what I want without my impatience taking over. So this is a time where we look at this very honestly, very openly with ourselves. And we can say, like, where is my patience coming in? Why is it that I need to wait? And it's because things are being layered. Things are being carved. Things are being added to. And it's not just through your own work. It's through the unseen forces of the energy around you, the unseen forces of the angels around you, the unseen forces of divinity that are guiding you forward. And it brings us to the Three of Cups, because as we're waiting, as we're looking at things, we need to celebrate with those who celebrate us, those who love us, those who stand with us. But we also will start to have this sense of, I'm not moving forward as quickly as I should be. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I failed. I didn't meet, these arbitrary goals that I had set for myself at an arbitrary time. And so the Three of Cups is going to bring us the memories of the people who told us we couldn't, who were supposed to be on our side, who were supposed to love us and respect us and care for us and be our cheerleaders, but never could. Whether these were caregivers, whether these were lovers, whether these were friends, it does not matter. They weren't able to stand by us. And things fell apart. Life became more unsteady and hurtful. And it brings us to this time where it's going to kind of make us want to try harder for the people who don't care. We have this person here holding out their hand, right? And they're holding prosperity behind them. This person is holding out her hand, and with her other, she's giving flowers. She's saying thank you. And we have to be mindful of this, to give to those who receive with graciousness and with love, instead of giving to those who just take and take and take and drain and drain and drain. Once we come to that realization of the heart and in our inner self, it brings us to the public arena of joy and happiness and success. It brings us to this place where we say, this is my might, this is my power, this is my tenacity, this is my brilliance. I let it shine. And the sun is saying that blessings are coming forward. It might not be in the ways that we want it to. It might not be a total windfall, though I do wish that on top to every single one of you. But what we're going to see here is that there is this beautiful brilliance shining within us. There's this beautiful light that needs to be embraced. If we embrace it, we're game changers. If we don't embrace it, things start falling apart. Because we're going to have people see this light within us. We're not going to be utilizing it, and they're going to be stealing it from us, taking us by eyes, taking away our blessings, taking away our joys, taking away what we have worked so hard for. And it's going to be this vampiric drain. And we have to be mindful of that. But if we step into the sun, if we turn our face to the sun, if we let the blessing in, it's a game changer. And it brings us on this path of determination and focus and insight and ideas. It brings us to the King of Pentacles, to the Knight of Pentacles, to being a defender of what is growing, what we nurture, what we desire, what nourishes us. The Knight of Pentacles moves slowly, but we're okay with that. It's the slowest moving knight, and we're the second slowest moving knight. We're okay with things taking time to build, with it being done right and sturdily and powerfully. The Knight of Pentacles slowly and steadily moves towards his goals, moves towards what's desired, and says, I cherish the steps along the way. I might curse them at times as I am moving, but I cherish where I stand, why I stand there. and how I'm moving forward. And I'm cherishing what I am building for me and those I love. The subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Princess of Cups. This can be our own inner child coming out and really needing attention. There is something in our hearts that we might not have dealt with that scarred us. It could be a parent walking out on us or a guardian walking out on us. It could be, a lover that absolutely broke our hearts when we were just learning, how to love and what love was. The Princess of Cups has a vulnerability to her. It could be acting like a diva, and we can be very drawn to people who act like divas, who demand so much, because we're used to people demanding so much of us and giving nothing in return. There needs to be a balance here, and there needs to be a connection with our inner child, with what we love and why we love it, what brings us joy and what lights up our life. It moves us then to our subconscious chakra energy, which is holistic health, the root chakra. This is embracing holistic healing. This is embracing the healing of our hearts and our souls and ourselves. This is looking at what we desire and saying, what is right for me? Holistic health is one of my favorite cards because it's saying, step back. Look at the nutrition. Look at how we're fueling our bodies. Look at the world around us, our stresses, and see how our bodies can fall into alignment. See what we can do to heal and to prosper instead of to fall away. It moves us then. It's the holistic health is to become more connected with who we are and with the bodies we live in, then less connected, more disjointed, and more numb. It brings us then to our subconscious root, which is strength. The greatest strength comes from love and compassion, comes from the heart and emotion, not from demanding, not from that primordial way of adoring strength where, oh my gosh, this person can pick up 18 million pounds. Oh my gosh, look at the muscles on this person. This is that quiet, beautiful strength. This is a strength, when I think of it, I think of my grandmother and my great-grandmother. When I was growing up, they were older, of course, but they were strong, especially my great-grandmother. So strong, so powerful. And that's the strength that's here. The strength that calls those who are fiercer than we will ever be to us. And says, I am on your side. And I look at this leper and I would think that she was pregnant, with the fact that she's, just not as sleek as a leopard or a cheetah is. And so this is a time where we will find that our kindness has not only brought us the love of the leper, but the love of the cups to come. Respect through generations. Love, power, and strength through generations. It brings us then to our subconscious inner self, which is the Five of Cups. Change your mind and change your life. Stop looking at the negative. Start looking at the positive. Start looking at the healing, beautiful love you have around you. Instead of every misstep along the way. Everybody messes up. Everybody has people who don't accept them and don't like them and never will. Leave it be. Leave them alone. It doesn't matter. I was listening to somebody and they say, like me or hate me, it doesn't hurt my bank account. And the person was saying, I'm still successful because I'm not letting you drag me down. And I thought, this is a very blunt way of putting it, but it was a good way of putting it. They made their money off of being noticed, and they just didn't care. And so here, that's it. And it's not saying make your money off of being noticed, but it's saying do your thing, unapologetically, proudly, and loudly. And those who will hate, they'll hate it. And those who will get it, will get it. And the missteps we make along the way, well, that's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we become better, stronger individuals. It leads us then to our subconscious emotional self, which is the Knight of Cups. We become the defenders of our hearts, of our joys, and of what is sacred to us. We become the ones that hold up the chalice, the cup, the blessing, and then drink deeply of the rewards. This is a time where, yes, we have our armor on, because life is cruel and overwhelming, and we get that. We've seen enough of it. But this is also a time where we do not have so much armor on that we cannot move freely and easily. We cannot embrace laughter and joy. It brings us then, this is our subconscious emotional self. It brings us then to our subconscious public self, which is the Nine of Wands. Why it's going to be so hard to accept the blessing of the sun is because subconsciously we're still fighting the demons of the past. We're still listening to everybody and wanting to please everybody, and it's just not going to happen. Here, let us embrace the strength that we are still standing after this long, that we are still seeking and healing and developing and becoming. Embrace that strength and that power. Forget everything else and move forward in the grace that is and will always be yourself and the healing connection of the divine to you. All right, Pisces, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the blessings to come and the blessings that are being received. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Pisces.